we're going to start off kind of like pardon the interruption style here with John. I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to him. We do have a couple different topics that he wants to go over. I'll let him take it from here.
All right, appreciate it, James. And appreciate you having me on the stream today. We played each other at a lot of regionals, but we've never really got to hang out at all. So it's cool to get to spend a little bit of time with you and talk some Yu-Gi-Oh! Even if everybody in chat is kicking and streaming right now. So basically what we do...
Yeah, they are.
Basically what we do on this show is we literally rip off Pardon the Interruption. We do 5 topics, 3 minutes each. We go a little back and forth and just give our opinions. So topics are on the left over here by me. Mirrored. Topics are over here by me.
Yes, that way.
We're going to give them each 3 minutes and just kind of give you an overview. But first, James, give me your Yu-Gi-Oh! Resume a little bit.
My Yu-Gi-Oh! Resume is I have a 3rd place at YCS Memphis, the one that Kamal Crooks won. I played Metal Foe True Draco, which was the best deck. I don't care what anyone says. So I have a 3rd place there. I have a lot of barely didn't make top cut, but I also have a few other top YCS appearances. I also have top 8'd 5 or 6 regionals, including Jacksonville regionals, Tampa, and Kissimmee regionals. I'm kind of notorious for playing Sky Strikers, but I also did really well with Metal Foe True Draco, and that's my best actual tournament finish. And other than that, I'm just I was locals grinder Yu-Gi-Oh! Top 80er, I guess.
Right on, man. Well, I mean, I always remember seeing you around the top tables, so you got that going for you.
Right.
Which is nice.
I mean, same for you. Same for you for sure.
Yeah, well, only 1 or 2. Once invoked, kicked the bucket for the most part. I was out.
You're okay. Invoke's not good. I'm not playing anymore. I hate this game.
Basically, just like the Raid Raptors guy. All right. So anyway, let's jump right in. Enough pitter patter. Let's hop right in. Starting with Chain Link 5. All right. James, you wanted to talk a little bit about streaming Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know exactly where you wanted to go with this topic, but I'm really open. You've been doing a lot of Magic streaming. You've been really embracing this kind of as a career even. Where do you see your stream going as you kind of start doing more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content?
One thing I really wanted to talk about is the lack of Yu-Gi-Oh! On Twitch. I don't know about live Yu-Gi-Oh! On YouTube, but I think looking at the Magic statistics versus looking at the Yu-Gi-Oh! Statistics, and even streaming Magic myself, the viewership is much, much, much bigger. And if you look at the numbers, there's about 8,000 or 9,000 people at any particular time watching Magic the Gathering on Twitch. And when you look at like 6 o'clock at night, on the numbers of, when it should be like kind of the peak numbers, everyone's getting off work, turning on their Twitch channels. There's like 900 and something people watching Yu-Gi-Oh! On Twitch. Like, why don't people watch more Yu-Gi-Oh! On Twitch? Don't you want to see the best players play and actually articulate their thoughts to you? Like, there's a lot of times where people get into their own echo chambers in their Yu-Gi-Oh! Content, and even in their Yu-Gi-Oh! Store, right? Like, like if you're playing in Tampa Yu-Gi-Oh! Like you, John, or you're playing cool stuff down South Florida, or you're playing cool stuff in Maitland, or even in Jacksonville, or other parts of the United States or the world, right? You can get into your own little echo chamber of like what's a good deck, or like what's considered a good card, and you have like your own friend group where, and I've experienced this, where everyone thinks this card's good or this card's bad, and you go to a major tournament and like your mind's just completely blown about what everyone else thinks. What if you could go to a place that, like Twitch is that place where you can go, hey, I want to see Jeff Jones talk about what he thinks about in the Drytron mirror match. Isn't that valuable information? Like, wouldn't you want to know that? And even if they make like articles about it, maybe, or they even some other pro players do have a channel on Twitch, and I've seen that. And you told me about that. Wouldn't you want more of that? Like in the Magic community. I can look up right now, and I can look it up on my Twitch right now, and there's like six or seven players right now that are like pro Magic players that you can just watch and hear and watch them deck build and all this kind of stuff and see their theory. And in the beginning of the day, like around like 12 o'clock noon, you can see the top 5 players that have ever played the game, ever, like play Magic, of the over like 30-year time span of Magic. You can go watch them. You can go watch them do their thing. Like, what do you think about that, John?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like, the two that I recommend a lot that I like to watch are the Duelist Academy, which I mentioned to you earlier, which is Ryan Levine, it's Jesse Cotton, it's Asala Wadathandrage, some of the top names in Yu-Gi-Oh! YCS winners, repeat YCS top 4s, top 8s. Like, these guys are freaking good. And, like, they have great thoughts on theory. They do deck building. They run tournaments and commentate and talk about the misplays. And just in, like, the last month or so of watching those, I feel like my deck building's got better. I feel like, I've got some technical play things that I didn't really think about. It's caused me to look at my decks in a completely different way, like trying to innovate a lot more. And I think that's invaluable. The other one is Cody Angeloff has a great one where stream of consciousness. He just plays and talks about what he's doing. But I think you don't even have to get that technical even. I think just watching somebody play consistently is valuable because you're a lot more likely to see misplays or opportunities for growth in somebody else's play than you are in your own. I don't know, would you agree with that? Like, you're much more likely to pick apart somebody else's play than you are your own play.
Yeah. Also, like when you're actually playing your own game, you can you only think of in your own mind of what you think is a good play. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you're watching a Ryan Levine or you're watching a Cody Angeloff, and they're doing stream of consciousness, right? And they're thinking about things that you would have never thought about. So now the next time you play that match at locals or whatever, now you think about that, and it makes you a better player.
Right. And I think too, there's room for fun too, though. Like, replaying old matchups, like, I don't know, Big Hero from 2008, or like, whatever old decks, Teledad Mirrors or whatever. Yep. Like, there's a nostalgia element.
It's interesting
too. Yeah, it's interesting to see, kind of in hindsight what those matchups are like. And I even thought about, why not just talk about comic books or movies or whatever while you play on Dueling Book? Like, that's a thing you can do too.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Yeah, just make it fun. All right, that's our time on that one. Let's move on to Chain Link 4. Where's my... there it is. Ooh, we got some lag here, James. We got the computer running overtime. All right, this is about the ban list. Good. We finally got our ban list last week. I know you haven't been playing that much, but I know you know about this card. True King of all Calamities. This thing was a bane. They hit its cousin Zexal at the same time, so no more you just flat out can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! I know you didn't really care because you're like a back row dork, but what do you think of this ban list? Do you think it's improved the game?
I think it improved the game in a theory sense, and I don't know if it improves the game in general, though. And here's what I think about that. In a theory sense, I think it improves the game because it shows you that Konami wants to bring it to a level that allows your opponent to play the game going second, right? They want you to be able to, like, kind of maneuver through different kind of board states, and they want it to be, like, interactable, right? Like, one thing about VFD is that, in King of all Calamities, is that you have to have, like, specific cards, right? Because they use it either on your... They use it on your standby phase or kind of use it in a way that makes it hard for you to interact with it, right? And even Zexal to a certain extent. You have to have certain cards, right, at the certain time. And I think they want to get away with kind of like your opponent can't play the game at all type of thing, and want to go more towards we want you to be able to interact with the thing, even if that thing is like still super broken. Now, on the contrary, my other point is one of the other problems that I have on this ban list. Well, that's not a problem. I think the True King of all Calamities and Zexal is a good thing. But the thing I have a problem with is in turn of them doing that, they brought back the extra deck lock again.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, if you don't want us to be able to interact with you in that way with VFD and Zexal, why did you bring back the other card? And now they have it so that there's other convoluted combos where you can still do the same broken things you did before and still lock your opponent out, and your opponent's still forced to draw specific cards. So I think it's kind of contradictory, but I think it's a net positive for the game. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the difference between something like Virtual World, which is putting up 2 True King of all Calamities and the Trap to protect it. So there's just like no cards that you can draw that out that.
Can't do anything about it.
Yeah, but look at something like Tri-Brigade, where it puts up, I don't know if you're familiar with this deck, it puts up a Barrier Statue of the Storm Winds with protection. And like, yeah, that's good. That can just win you the game right there. But you can play through that. Like, if you draw one side deck card, you're going to play through that. So, like, yes, it's keeping you from playing. And I'd almost put the Buster Lock in the same thing, where you can just kaiju over whatever it's equipped to and out it. It's not as, like...
Right. It's kind of fragile.
Yeah. It's not lingering like those other cards were. I guess that's the term we're kind of searching for. Like, the lingering effects are a lot worse than the continuous effects.
Right.
You know. So I think eliminating those is a good move.
And even then, it's not like an effect like True King of Call Calamities where you can do it like, whenever you want on your opponent's turn or even your turn. That's kind of, I think that's like a little toxic. Mm-hmm. But if it's just sitting there like a Buster Whelp behind something that you can just kaiju over or kill through their some kind of protection that you know they're going to have, it's a lot easier to manage. So it makes it a little bit more fragile, which is good. I like that, but it still doesn't condone. It still like kind of goes towards the we don't want your opponent to play the game type of thing. It's a good thing that to bring out of you're going to side it out maybe if your opponent's just playing a sideboard like a backrow deck or something, right? But it is more fragile, so you have a good point there.
Yeah, and I wonder too if it's not just flat out a mistake. I mean, like, who really? It's kind of one of those things where Konami has a limited pool of people to test these things. They're probably like, well, Union Carrier's the only thing that could possibly equip Buster Dragon to anything. And then and then they release the ban list, and immediately 1 million people go, well, DMZ Dragon is a card. So yeah, it's like you're literally like just consulting a hive mind that is always trying to break the game, whereas you have an office full of like 8 guys in cubicles. You know, like, you're no match. We're going to figure it out.
I was watching Lithium play earlier today, and he was like, "Oh, you can just use DMZ Dragon and end on like a better board than they had before." I was like, "Oh my god, okay, sure, I guess."
Yeah,
but he had like that, like 3 negates and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you throw this ban list just to the wild of the Yu-Gi-Oh players, and somebody is going to innovate something. It's going to happen. You can't keep up if you have a small team. All right, that's time on that one. Let's move on to Chainlink 3. All right, so one of the implications that's been widely discussed about this ban list is that hand traps may be less necessary. And I think we've kind of seen a gradual trend over the last maybe year or so of more and more traps coming back. You've seen Torrential Tribute. You're seeing Solemn Strike. You're seeing Paleozoic Dynamiscus. All of these like traps are coming back. And I think it's put the game in a really interesting place. I don't know if you have a thought on that, but when was the last time you saw this many traps in a format?
Oh my! I couldn't even tell you. Like this many traps in a format, I can think of back when people were playing just like 3 evenly matched and like 3 and like all these traps that you can play from your hand on turn 2. Mm-hmm. Like the actual trap cards, I don't think I can tell you. Maybe like True Draco or something.
Yeah, it's like either that or like Paleozoic comes to mind. Fusion Sub-Zoo ran a lot of traps, I think. Yeah, it's just one of those things.
Fusion Sub-Zoo. We actually have the author of Fusion Sub-Zoo in my Twitch chat right now, Bobby Kenny.
Hey. What's up, Bobby?
And like that deck did play a lot of traps, but I didn't even think it played a lot of traps. It just like Solemn Strike, and but you could draw so many cards on your turn that you could just draw the card. Me personally, I like playing a lot of traps and a lot of interactive cards. Like if I had it to myself right now and I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh right now, like yeah, maybe I would play Sky Striker, or maybe I would play like Eldelic or something that played a lot of trap cards. But I think like trap cards are very unique, and like my brother Jesse has a good stance on this. Is like you can brick a lot of boards by just setting trap cards, and so many decks are just designed to be able to stop your opponent's turn one play that aren't just setting cards fast. That you could even go like needle sealing, and then your opponent negates it, right, and then you go Solemn Strike, and then your opponent's board is gone. Yeah, you can easily do that going second. Their traps are just as good going second as they are going first, and I really do like that, even if you're playing against a combo deck.
Yeah, I think it's just actually insane that a viable strategy in 2021 is set Shadal Squamata, set 4 pass. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yep.
But you're absolutely right. I mean, it works.
It actually be good, though.
Yeah, and all the traps work in concert. One thing that all these decks have in common is they all have resource generation. They all have some sort of a resource loop or renewable source of just gaining, like in Shadal, it's Schism. You're going to get a +1 every turn by turning your graveyard resources into on-field monsters. Minimum +1. So losing those traps is not that big of a deal because your deck continues gaining advantage just through the virtue of what it does, like its engine. So I think like that's interesting versus something like Hat, maybe, where it's more like you could run out of resources. I don't know. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, like you can definitely run out of resources in Hat because if you don't have the artifact to pop the other artifact to do the thing, and then you can only do that thing like once or twice, and then you're done doing it, right? Mm-hmm. With decks like Eldelic and things, they just keep recycling the resources over and over again.
Yeah, that deck's just crazy. That deck could bring back traps on its own. And I think, going back to the last topic, Calamities was really responsible for how many traps were in the format. Because like you said, if you can't use monster effects, just set your back row and out their board.
I actually think that's one of the things that's going to be kind of annoying about Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, is that now that, like, True King of all Calamities is probably like the thing holding Yu-Gi-Oh! Together, weirdly enough to say, because now that VFD is banned, we're going to see less traps probably, and then it's going to make Yu-Gi-Oh! Like a combo game again with everyone playing like Dragon Link and a bunch of other combo decks. Now, VFD's not a thing. We get to play these decks now, and now that you get to play those decks, then it makes trap decks worse. So we'll see how the format shapes up from here then.
Yeah, I think as kind of an aside, I think that's a good lesson for like newer players too. Is that what the meta is in 1 week could be way different in 2 weeks, because you're right, now VFD's gone, so the traps might go, so combo comes back, so then hand traps come back, so then traps come back. So it's like a cycle, and you're really preparing for each individual event. You're not preparing for a whole format.
Right. If you're it's fine to prepare for a whole format if you're just playing locals every time and you don't care about competitive play. Mm-hmm. But if you care about competitive play, you're paying attention to every single big tournament that comes out, and you're building your deck based on that tournament. It's definitely a tournament by tournament thing, and not a day by day, and not a like a whole format long thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And tying it in together again, that's where it's valuable to learn from like the experienced players and see what their thoughts are on how the meta is developing. So more Twitch, more Yu-Gi-Oh! Twitch.
Please.
All right, Chain Link 2. Let's talk about some nostalgia. We both been playing for several years at this point. I don't know. I'm 5 years in. How long have you been playing?
Competitively or in general?
Competitively.
What was the year? I don't remember the year, but it was when PK Burning Abyss came out, I think. It was a long time ago. It was like when DDDs first came out. Whatever that was.
So you've actually been in less time than I have. That would have been 2017.
I don't know what year that was. Maybe it was Maybe it was 2015 or 2016. I don't remember the year.
Well, anyway, I can't believe I'm actually older than you in this game right now. Because I remember you actually like being established. So anyway, what are some of your? Sorry, what was that?
I said you're a boomer.
Yeah, I am definitely a Yu-Gi-Oh boomer. I bought my first pack was Metal Raiders back in 2002 before my 10-year hiatus.
One of my first packs was Metal Raiders too.
Yeah,
I pulled a Magic Cylinder. I think was that Metal Raiders. I pulled a Magic Cylinder out of a pack back in the day, which was one of my first packs that I opened. It was crazy.
Well, I mean, let's talk nostalgia. What are some decks that you missed that you really enjoyed playing?
Give me Astrograph. Give me Astrograph. Give me Electromite. I mean, I know we have Electromite, but give me True Draco Metal Foes again. That deck is bananas. I want to play that deck. I mean, I know I could just build it on a dueling book and kind of like play a retro format, but give me that deck. I only had that deck for one tournament. One tournament. Give me that deck back. What about you, John?
So for me, you already touched on it. DDD. I loved DDD. I was on it before it was even a competent deck. I was normal summoning Kepler, fusing into D-Arc, and setting back row, and just gaining life points.
Yes, that's what I did.
Yeah, that was so much fun. And then they delayed the hell out of that structure deck. And I got to play it for 2 weeks before Zoo dropped, and then I never got to play it again because it was never good. Yeah.
I played Blue Eyes for a long time, and then I was like, please, DDDs, get better. And then DDDs came out. We had 2 weeks to play, and I had like a week and a half to learn some crazy combos. And then right after that, the deck wasn't even a thing anymore. Unfortunate. Yeah. But the other deck that I have nostalgia about is give me Engage and multi-roll, please.
Yeah. Yeah, the first Striker deck I got to play was True Draco Striker, like early last year, and I missed that deck. I think that deck was a blast. I don't know if you got a chance to play that build.
I got a chance to play a build similar, but it was way before, back when Striker still had 3 multi-roll, 3 engage. And my brother built that deck just as a meme, and it ended up being pretty good, but at the end of the day, it was just worse than other things that were being played at the time. But it'll be interesting to revisit that to see how good that was, because I love me some Sky Strikers.
Yeah, dude. That deck had a great matchup against the Orcus deck at the time, the Sky Striker Orcus deck, because you just searched 3 Shark Cannons and they couldn't play. It was it was like really broken.
Same thing against Solomon Great too. You just keep recycling Shark Cannon over and over again, and good luck.
Yeah. What's another? Oh,
and you can steal their things with what is it? You can steal their things with freaking. Why am I forgetting the name off the top of my head?
Widow.
Steal their stuff and kill them with it. Link their stuff away, and now they even have a freaking. Now they even have a link too.
Mm-hmm.
Like. Give me Engage and multi-roll. Put them at 1. Okay, John. I'll put this to you. What would Engage and multi-roll do at 1 right now?
Nothing. Yeah, they would do nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm only afraid of Engage at 3, basically. Like, if you can make it into an engine, it's scary. If it's just in its own deck, I could not care less.
Well, the thing is, it wouldn't be in its own deck, though. They would just slap Engage in every deck, and then keep recycling it with Kagari, and then keep doing that.
I guess, yeah, with 3 Kagari.
You don't think they would do that? You don't think there would be some deck that someone makes that has like that recycles Engage and just keeps casting on?
I'd have to see a build. I don't know. That sounds pretty like niche to me. Like, because you have to make so many concessions. Like, you have to keep your main monster zone empty. You have to be able to get to your 1 copy. I don't know about that. I don't know, but I bow to your expertise, the Sky Striker Master. Uh-oh. Did we lose you? There he is.
Can you hear me, John?
I can. We're back.
Perfect.
just as to kind of wrap up the topic, one of the decks that I wish I could have played longer was this 60 card Zephyra deck that I played during Fusion Sub-Zoo format. That deck was so much fun.
I remember that.
Yeah, just infinite engines. You made Danglong, you set traps, you made Chow Fang, you played Terror Top at 3. That deck was so much fun. I would love to play that again. And 60 cards, so that Zoo Infernoid can't grass you. Literally the only reason.
I did not want to play against that. Oh. I mean, I did like Denglong, but I didn't like everything else about it.
Yeah, dude, I miss Danglong. You want Engage back? I would trade my soul for Danglong back. I love that card.
I feel like Denglong would be fine, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It'd be in every deck, but it's not that bad. All right, last link of the chain. Let's talk about predicting the future. So when we were prepping for this, we kind of had two different schools of thought on this. I am really big on looking at Japan. We're 3 months behind them pretty consistently, sometimes multiple years in the case of DDD. But I'm always trying to look forward to see like what I can look forward to, what I should be buying now that will be going up in prices, and just kind of looking at that. You take the opposite stance. What are your thoughts on like looking forward to future cards?
See, when I look forward to future cards, it's like I read them, and then I'm just like, oh, that would be pretty cool. Oh, that's broken, or that sucks, and then just forget about it until I like play against it, or someone makes some crazy thing that I should know, and then I like see it on Lithium's channel or Simo's channel or something, and I'm like, oh, I should probably pay attention to that. And then I read the cards, and then I forget about it again, and then I play against it in a tournament, and then I like get destroyed, and I'm like, oh, that deck's insane, and then I build it.
Mm-hmm. The classic Yu-Gi-Oh life cycle. That's the life cycle of the duelist.
For
yeah,
sure.
I mean,
what is your preparation when you see new cards then?
So for me, I'm always like lurking on news, like Yu-Gi-Oh organization. I'm all over that. Like the Yu-Gi-Oh subreddit, as far as seeing like headlines and like reveals, I'm all over that. Because for me, I'm super cheap, so I want to know what cards I need to buy now to prepare for 3 months from now. I have like a box of just stuff that will be good when stuff I like comes out. You buy high rarity stuff for the deck. Like I want to pick up high rarity Advanced Ritual Arts for that new Magic Key deck. And I don't want to pay $20 for them whenever they come out.
Because you never know, it might go to 80.
Yeah, no, the market is so crazy and volatile, you can't take the chance.
Yeah.
So, like, that's... Money's a big reason, if I'm being completely transparent.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I know, like, it's not about money, but my brother ended up buying a Super Parrot Dragon, like, back in the day, at some random TCG event, and it ended up I think he traded for it for, like, $20. Or $15, I think. It went to like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And so basically, you're just doing that on like a larger scale with actual relevant cards.
Right. It's like it's for the meta, and don't even get me started on vintage market. Vintage values are crazy. I talked about that in a previous episode. Like I have a binder full of garbage ultis that's worth like $700. It's crazy.
I wouldn't doubt it. My brother put together a Yu-Gi-Oh cube of like 500 and something cards, and we decided that we wanted to max rarity the cube. We didn't end up finishing it, but we got some random ultis. I'm talking like random, like 50-cent ultis, like super random. I can't even remember the cards. Like they're that random, and some kind of like bulk ultimate. If you can ever even conceptualize that concept right now. And the cards are just so much more expensive now.
Yeah. $20, $40, $70.
Yeah. Like, and you can get the card. You got the card like 2 years ago for 50 cents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, exactly. Like, and I guess the other reason why I'm looking forward is I'm like big. I'm big on like doing combos and like deck building and stuff, and just being prepared. Like I want to put in months of like test hands and stuff before anybody else even opens the cards. That's just kind of how I like interacting with the game. So that's the other reason I look forward a lot.
That's something that I actually did with one of my friends, Raphael, back before Sky Striker ever came out. Like a month or two before the deck came out, we both had it 100% proxied of the deck we wanted to play, and we were learning the deck, like, and playing against each other mirror matches months before the deck came out. But like that's the only deck I've ever done that with. I usually never do that with anything I play, which is weird because it's like the opposite of you.
Yeah, that's so interesting though. Like, I was surprised when you told me that. Like, just because I feel like that's just something.
I don't know why that is. Like, I probably should be. I probably should care more about the future cards and read them and really like think about like their presence in the meta and like make proxy the cards and play against people. But I just never did that.
Well, to each his own, I guess. You can. I mean,
I don't know.
You've got the results to back it up, like, so keep doing what you're doing, man.
I learn it when I want to learn the deck. Yeah, when I want to learn a deck, I just like spend all my time learning the deck and getting as good as I can about it. So like, if I had done that beforehand, like before the deck even comes out, I'd be even better. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just lazy about it. I don't know.
Like I said, man, you got the results to back it up. So don't. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, is the phrase. That's
yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, for sure.
All right, let's move on to the outro. Well, James, we did it. We broke down 5 chain links. We resolved the chain. We got some good discussion out of it. It was a pleasure to get to hang out with you a little bit and hang out with your followers here on your stream. You got anything to plug? Obviously, you've got your stream. Give me a couple plugs for my end.
I have a podcast called the Streamcast podcast where I interview streamers just like this here. That is on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Streamcast, Streamcast. It's usually Magic streamers right now, but I'm looking to expand that into Yu-Gi-Oh as well. I also do a tournament called Stream League, which is a Magic the Gathering streamer tournament of 32 of the best streamers that play against each other and play for $1,000 cash prizes. I host that on my Twitch channel as well. I also stream on Twitch 5 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern to around midnight, 1 a.m. at twitch.tv/Charizard_James.
All right, so you got a lot going on, man. That's good to hear.
Yeah, for sure.
Keep the hustle going. And hey, I'm definitely interested in hearing from some of the Yu-Gi-Oh streamers. It should be 2 or 3 good episodes. If you're gonna.
Oh yeah. I'm excited for people to like streamers to want to start streaming Yu-Gi-Oh, and for people to want to start like going onto Twitch and watching Yu-Gi-Oh. There's way too few people watching Yu-Gi-Oh on streams. Like there shouldn't be less than 1,000 people watching Yu-Gi-Oh on streams if there's 8,000 or 9,000 people watching Magic.
Yeah, well, let's work to fix that, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep preaching the good word of Yu-Gi-Oh to these Magic nerds.
Preaching the good word of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well, out of curiosity too, what'd you think of this format? I mean, the show format.
I like it. I like it, like the PTI version. I think I like it a lot. I don't think I've seen this being done before in this kind of format, and I like the fact that we can kind of rapid fire, but we can get into some kind of detail. Like I like the time frame that you did it to. Like I like the 2 minutes. It was 2 minutes, right? 3 minutes. 3. I like the 3 minutes. Yeah, it kind of let us go into a little bit more detail, but still kind of go along the topics pretty smoothly. If your sound would kind of cooperate with us.
Yeah. Well,
awesome, I do like the format for sure.
What's that?
I do like the format of your show for sure. I do.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you giving me this platform to share it with some people who might not have been able to see it otherwise.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's spread the word.
Preach the word, brother. Preach it. Let's go. It's time to duel, brother.
Brother Pegasus.
Read from a spell book of prophecy or whatever.
That's an actual card. That's too good. Wow, you must have wrote that in your show notes.
Oh yeah, man. Right on my hand.
Put that one. Yeah, you're like writing on your hand during the I'm gonna call it a podcast, whatever.
I've done that professionally during a shoot before.
Wow. And they're like, how'd you come up with that so quick? Holy crap. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah,
it just happened.
Beats me, man. I don't know.
I just like making fists.
All right, James. Well, it was good spending time with you. Thanks for coming on Resolving the Chain. Hope to have you on again someday.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Thanks, man.
All right, thanks.